Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be discussing my printing company. It's called D's Printing. At this company, we create custom apparel, so shirts, tank tops, polos, crew necks, and sweatshirts. But we also create custom physical media such as canvases, posters, banners, metal panels, brochures, and things of that nature. At D's Printing, we have a total of 10 employees. We have Sam, who's in charge of customer service, Ashley, who's in charge of data gathering, but Sam can also help her out. He's also trained in that. Tyler, who is on the design team, Esteban, who is also on the design team, Rosie, who's in charge of proofing, Maria, who is in charge of navigating the screen printer as well as the inkjet printer, Savannah, who is trained in the laser printer, but she could also do the inkjet and the screen, so she's a 3 for 1. Caroline, who can navigate the inkjet printer, but she could also do the laser printer. So, these three, they could split the tasks when needed. We have Kevin, who's in charge of binding, and Ramon, who's in charge of packing. We are an LCC, a limited liability corporation. I decided to go this route just because it's a combination of partnership with liability of a corporation. I just did this so my assets would not be at risk if the company falls through. Okay, and my hypothetical project would be for Gonzalez Landscaping. Um, Gonzalez Landscaping ended up reaching out to D's Printing and asked us if we could create some t-shirts for his employees. So the goal was to create 23 short sleeve t-shirts with the company's name and logo on the front right corner, as well as the name and logo on the back with the company phone number underneath. So before I began creating that scope sheet, I wanted to ask some questions. So this would be fall on the customer service person, which is Sam, and they would ask, how many of this product would you want? What sizes were your employees? What material of the t-shirts would you want? The type of apparel, did he want t-shirts, sweatshirts, crew necks? Did he want some polos, some t-shirts? Um, where would you like us to print the graphics on the product? So did he want it only on the back or only on the front or both? If he had a logo yet, so because we could also supply that service, and if he had a color preference. And then I'm just gonna show you guys the overall scope sheet that I created. So had the product name, which is Gonzalez Landscaping. You know the number, where we're located in Naperville, and then the client name and phone number, which is Ricardo Gonzalez, and his phone number right here. I already went through the project objectives, which is pretty straightforward. Um, in the scope sheet, I also included our contact information because this is for the client to have on hand. So in case they wanted to get in contact with us, they can. I have my name, email address, project manager, which is me, the date that this scope was created, which was on the 23rd, when the project began and when we expect it to end. If you keep scrolling down, we have deliverables. So this is a deliverable, the scope sheet and proofing, which would fall on Rosie when we have a design that we think they'd like for the t-shirt. And then we just have the task and schedule just so the client knows who's doing what. So we have the design team, Esteban and Tyler, proofing, Rosie, navigating the screen printer, Maria, folding and packaging, Ramon. And then I also had the goods needed. and it has the start and end date, so the customer knows what is being done when, so they're up to date. And it makes them feel like they're included. And then beneath this, I always have this short summary on the employees that are being a part of this project. I feel like it'll reassure the consumer because it ensures that our employees are qualified. Just a little 2 cents. Okay, so then we were going to start going to the timeline of this project. So here we have the employee roster again, and in that PowerPoint, I didn't show this note. So all tasks can be split so long that that employee is trained in that role. So for example, if both Sam and Ashley wanted a data gathering, they could together. If it costs like if it's 2 hours, then one could do 1 hour, one could do the other. Same with my girls in printing. So here's the schedule I made for this particular project. I did it on a weekly basis. So at the top, it lists May 4th, 2020. So that would be this Monday. I did Sam, took an hour to do customer service. Tyler and Esteban took 2 hours and a half each to design. Rosie did an hour of proofing. Maria took 2 hours on the screen printer. And then Ramon did the folding and the packing. So in total, that took 2 hours. And I left a little leeway, so I don't think the design would actually take this long, but in case we added another project in here in the schedule and something went wrong with that, I just want to have some cushion time so everybody has enough time to finish everything and so the client isn't left hanging because that's very unprofessional on our part if we did that. Okay, so then now I'm going to get into the cost of things. So here I have the employee rate and cost. So Tyler and Esteban both get paid the exact same, $23 an hour. And since they're both working 2.5 hours, they're both going to cost 57 hours with 50 cents. Sam gets paid $9.25 an hour, Rosie 12 an hour, Maria 14 an hour, and Ramon 10 and a half. So in total, they're going to cost $185.25. I also took a look at the facility overhead. So that includes, our utilities like gas, water, electricity, phone, internet, software subscription. So in this case, it'll probably be Adobe, which is 80 a month, equipment and supplies. So for the monthly, I noticed that it was 833, but then I broke that down to weekly. So weekly, that would be 138. Our recurring costs, those are things that we pay once a year. So like server hosting, domain registration, our plugins, user support. So that in total is going to be 99. So then I relisted my overhead facilities, and this time I used the weekly one. And then I used that to calculate my total project cost. So I added the employee cost, the weekly overhead, and then also the total reoccurring to get the total project cost. And then I wanted a markup of 30%, which is 126. And then I added that back to the total project cost, and I got 550. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, thank you for your time. Goodbye.